Sir, before I say even one word about the incidents in the last 1 month which have happened or the discussions we have, and we have lots to say about it, but let me make one message loud and clear, and that's not for anybody in this house. I must tell our friends in Pakistan, straight talk. Please do not meddle in our internal affairs. Please do not shed crocodile tears. Please do not pretend you have any love for the people of Kashmir. Please do not give my country any bogus lectures on pluralism and democracy. Please do not give us bhashan from your generals, your politicians and your establishment. Because my family knows Pakistan and my family knows India. Because in 1947, when my grandfather worked in Kolkata and his younger brother worked close to Kolkata. So the two brothers were in Kolkata and one brother was in Lahore and he chose to stay in Lahore. That's one side of the family and 2/3 of the family are here, the O'Briens. Today, in spite of all our differences, in spite of all the problems which we face today, we are still the O'Briens of India. We can eat what we want, we can pray wherever we want to, we can walk the streets freely. But the O'Briens of Pakistan don't exist anymore. This is a fact, sir. Yes, there are differences, and in the last 2 years there have been very serious issues. And sometimes there is not only the words which will solve these issues. I wanted to start with the history and then come to the present, but I think I will start with the present and then go backwards in time. So let me start with yesterday, sir, and this is in Trinamool Congress when it comes to matters of foreign policy as our own policy. We are always, whether it's the past, in the last 18 years we've been a party, we've always been with the government in the sense we're always with the country. In that sense, so this is not about winning any political points. But yesterday, sir, it was said by the Honorable Prime Minister that if those boys and girls had books in their hands or laptops in their hands or cricket bats in their hands, it would have been better than stones. So that statement also concerns me, because my concern is that if even those young boys had laptops or books or cricket bats, they would have still thrown it at where they want to throw it. This is the matter of concern, sir. So we need to understand this situation better. And I'll say this, sir. It's one thing when you're sitting in opposition and then you want to play Rambo. And it's another thing when you come here in government. When you come here in government and you have to have the peace and the serenity to be in government. And a lot of the history which I wanted to say, actually Ram Gopal ji, the professor, has said before. But I will not go into the history, but Ram Gopal ji, whatever you said on the history, I am completely on the same page as you as to what you said about whose role, and I don't want to mention too many names here because people get touchy when you mention names. Sir, because this is a human tragedy, sir. This is a tragedy of common people. Who would know Zora Farooq? She's 5 years old, sir. And in fact, she gave what she said when she said in Urdu, which got translated to English, and she said, "We don't burn firecrackers at home, but they now burn firecrackers." This was said by a 5-year-old girl, sir. Sir, that reminds me, the nationalist, who is a nationalist and who is a patriot? The nationalist loves his country, the patriot loves the people of this country. And it's very important, sir, at this stage, not to make a distinction between Kashmir, the land, and Kashmir, the people. This is this is important, sir. And the paradox of this, and please, this is above politics, so don't get touchy. Interestingly, a few days ago, there was a speech in the Lok Sabha on behalf of the government, and I was intrigued to know who was the voice, who spoke in the Lok Sabha. Because his views on Kashmir 20-25 years ago and today may be a very nice view, it's a good view, and it is often criticized as being a view because he is a Muslim. Sir, I need to bring this point out, sir, today, because this gentleman, believed that Sardar Patelji also had some views on Kashmir, and even Shama Prasad Mukherjee was a stumbling block. Sir, I welcome the person the BJP chose to speak that day in Parliament. Maybe today, it's the BJP and the NDA who are taking a different look at Kashmir. The person who said all these words last week only was MJ Akbar. Now, MJ Akbar is a friend of mine, so I don't want to embarrass him, and this is not the portion to embarrass anyone. But if the BJP is looking at somebody like MJ Akbar, who wrote that book on Kashmir, and I'm not here to publicize his book because he's your minister, it was called Kashmir Behind the Veil. We want to hear voices like this, sir. And the more we hear voices like this, the more we believe that there will be a chance to solve this issue. It's another matter that when this book was launched in 1992, there were many in your party who threatened to burn the book. Sir, let's move on to the Home Ministry. Sir, the Home Ministry today, some of my colleagues are here who are on the committee with me. There is a meeting called today, sir, at 3 o'clock. And for that meeting, we have been given some background details from the Home Ministry. Now, the Home Ministry has given us the details of the use of pellet guns. And I'm reading from that report. It says in 2006, there were 6 deaths and 2010, there were 6 deaths and 198 injuries. And in 2016, there are 3 deaths and 78 injuries or 58 injuries. Sir, we have to go beyond these statistics. Otherwise, for the last 70 years, we've gone this way and that way. We need to go beyond these statistics, because the more and more I'm looking at this, there are other examples of this happened in 2008 and 9. That was the number, and now the number is less. Sir, we have to come out of this mentality, because unless we come out of this mentality, we will continue to... So the government, sir, it's almost like saying there are few injuries now, so we have committed a smaller sin. Sir, it's much beyond that, sir. It's much beyond that. Sir, there is a difference in Kashmir. I was trying to study this in the last 2-3 days. What is the big difference in Kashmir? Let's say even in the last 10 years. I don't want to go before that. Sir, I want to make one point in 2 minutes about what I think has changed on the ground in Kashmir. And actually, to use the expression on the ground is incorrect. Sir, in 2011, 5-6 years ago, the internet penetration in Kashmir was 3%. Today, the internet penetration in Kashmir is almost 25%. Sir, that is a major change of what has happened in Kashmir. And today, if you ask me, why the Hurriyat or anyone else doesn't have control over these people, nor can the security forces, because how can you have an encounter with YouTube? You can't. The opinion is being made on the internet. So, Mr. Home Minister, sir, what saddens me also is you tweet out on July the 9th, quote, good tweet, I appeal to the people of Jammu and Kashmir to remain calm and maintain peace. Center is working with the state government. Excellent. But the problem is that when this tweet went out, the internet itself was blocked. So it's a tough call. But the second most, in fact, in Kashmir, the internet has been blocked about 13-14 times. And I understand if you think sometimes, but that's not you're not going to get young people on your side if you keep blocking the internet. The only other state which has blocked it close to 10 times in the last 2-3 years, 9 times, that's in the Western Indian state. You said it. So I'm also saying it, sir, because it's a fact. Sir, so India is non-negotiable. Sir, the Indian is also non-negotiable. So Kashmir is also non-negotiable, sir. But the Kashmiri and her welfare also have to be, sir, non-negotiable. Sir, I'm coming to the issue which actually started all this, Burhan Wani. Now, Burhan Wani is the same issue. I'm going back to the internet. Because Burhan Wani is more dangerous on, or was, thankfully, was more dangerous on the internet than he was on the streets. I believe Burhan Wani is more dangerous in his grave than he was in his living room. And Burhan Wani may be more dangerous dead than he was alive. So, sir, this is the changing situation, sir, in Kashmir. And the way these pellets, that's why I'm saying I'm not going into those home ministry numbers, and we must restrain ourselves. And we are a young party of 18-year-old party. So when we are telling the Congress and the BJP, the national parties, you know, to do this, we are saying this with all humility. Sir, so this needs to be done. Because those pellets, sir, those pellets, you've asked, I want to make a specific recommendation to the Home Minister. Those pellets, sir, you have said there are 4 or 5 different kinds of pellets, and I don't want to make this into a pellet discussion. You have asked for 2 months for that expert committee. 2 months is a long time. It's like 32 days for this. There's enough technology. Why 2 months, sir? Make it 2 days, make it 1 week, and let's have that expert committee come, because those pellets are hurting, sir. They are not only hurting the children, but they are also hurting the consciousness of Kashmir. I've never tried this before, but I'll try it only once, because these pellets, I do believe, are hurting the children and also the consciousness. So I'll end, sir, with an Urdu couplet. एक दो जगह नहीं, सारा बदन है चलनी. एक दो जगह नहीं, सारा बदन है चलनी. दर्द बेचारा परेशान है, किधर से उठे. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Derek O'Brien.